What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Yes, I'm gonna sit here and record a second video for y'all because y'all just need this content, okay? It's World Breastfeeding Week and let's talk about breastfeeding. So this video is called the 6 P's of breastfeeding because these are literally 6 good habits that you want to get ingrained in your mind if you can before you start breastfeeding, but early on in your breastfeeding journey. Like, this will help you so much because the thing is, the beginning of breastfeeding, whether you're a new mom or you're just new to breastfeeding or you've done it before and just didn't really have a great experience, the beginning is like a hump to get over. And it can be discouraging and it can make you feel like, no, we're not doing this. But I promise you, like, it does not have to be as challenging as it is, or I should say as it can be. But if you implement these 6 good habits from the jump, or just like as soon as you see this, basically, like I'm telling you, like, you will get through it so much faster. You will be on your way to just loving breastfeeding. So the first one is make sure you have good posture when you're breastfeeding, okay? Because I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm turning into a hunchback, and I already had pretty poor posture in the first place, but I'm literally turning into a hunchback because when I first started breastfeeding my daughter, I used to be in the worst position ever, and I would just be focusing on getting her to latch properly to the point that I would be very, very uncomfortable. I would just be like, just looking crazy. But instead of focusing on how comfortable I am in the first place, I was focused on getting her to latch properly. And once she was actually latched on properly, I realized I was in the most uncomfortable position. My posture was terrible, and then I would have to sit in that same position for like 15 to 30 minutes, however long you're nursing for, because I didn't even want to risk like messing up the latch for me to be comfortable. It sounds crazy, but it's not. Like, that's mommy life. She came first. So the result of that is like my back hurts all the time, and it's to the point that it's like a bad habit that I just have, and it's so hard for me to get out of it now. But had I started it early on in the beginning of like sitting up straight when I feed her, I could have just saved myself so much. So let me just save you from that. Do not start out. Make sure you're in a comfortable position, which leads to number 2. The second P is position. And by position, I don't necessarily mean the way that you're sitting up and the comfortability of your body. I mean position yourself in a way that you're setting yourself up for success. It's been so many times that I had to just like drop everything that I'm doing and whip the boob out and feed baby like right now because she's hungry right now. And I realized like halfway through the session that my phone is ringing and it's across the room, or I want to change the channel but I don't know where the remote is. Like, all of these things. Oh wait, I gotta tell y'all my favorite, because how could I forget this? I'm going through it right now. Or I'm dying for water and I have no idea. Like, my water bottle is not in arm's reach. That is the worst. And so I guess maybe I should call this one preparation instead of position, but they kind of go hand in hand, all these P's. So just make sure that you are prepared for a session. It's not always going to work out for you, but try as best you can. If you know baby is wilding and it's time to eat, just grab what you need real quick. It's only going to take a couple more seconds, and put yourself in a position where you're set up for success, because, you know, you gotta feel like you're glued down for like 30 minutes and you just sitting there like. Okay, so that's P number 2. P number 3 is placement, and that is basically getting the latch correct for where baby's going. So you want baby to be able to pop on the right place, and this can be kind of difficult in the beginning. Sometimes babies have a hard time getting their latch correctly, so you kind of gotta guide them and things like that. But for real, like, getting the placement right is, I should have said this as number 1. I'm so all over the place. Because that's kind of like the number 1 goal, is making sure that baby is properly latched, because nobody wants to feel an improper latch. And it's not just us. Like, yes, it hurts for us, but then also, like, think about your hungry baby who's they just trying to eat, like, you know. And so have some empathy. The greatest example I have for this is, like, you know how you feel when you hangry, like, I need to eat now. Have some empathy. That's just how baby is feeling. And it can be frustrating because both y'all trying to get it right, both of y'all are struggling. Like, you may be new to breastfeeding, but this is a new baby, so that baby is definitely new to breastfeeding, even if you've done it before. So just focus on that placement. If you have a lactation consultant that can help you, or if anybody who can ease your way into breastfeeding, that's definitely going to make an enormous difference in getting you over that hump sooner. P number 4 is pay attention. I say this all the time, but you really need to, in the beginning anyways, learn that baby, okay? Every baby's going to be different. Pay attention to the cues. Pick up on when baby is still hungry, baby is full, whatever the case may be. Like, it's been plenty of times that I look down and realize, like, oh snap, when she fall asleep, and then I have no idea how much she ate at all. And so things like that, it's like, until you become comfortable with being able to identify when they're full, like, really pay attention to them and see when they are really full, see what they look like. With my daughter, I was even able to tell like when she was 1 month old how full she was based on like the firmness of her stomach. So even if I wasn't really paying attention to the time, I could tell by the firmness of her stomach, like, okay, she's done for now, or maybe she stopped eating 15 minutes ago. So you'll start to pick up on these things. Like I said, it'll be different for every baby, but the more you pay attention to them and not be like glued to your phone or to the TV in the beginning of breastfeeding, like, really treat it like you're doing something and not like distracted by other things. So pay attention to that baby. P number 5 is pull, don't push. Like, I don't know if y'all remember this. Well, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this saying in OSHA, which is like some health safety hazard if you work certain type of jobs, but it's push, don't pull. So basically, if you don't want to throw your back out, don't pull heavy stuff, you push it. This is like not that. It's pull, don't push, because basically this goes with the posture as well, but you always want to make sure you're pulling baby up to you when you're feeding, instead of bringing yourself down to baby, like wherever they are. Because for one, it will mess up your posture, and for two, you will just be like in pain in a very uncomfortable hunched over position for way too long if you get in the habit of doing this. Again, these are things that I terribly did and have the bad habit of doing, and I'm trying to get out of now, but it's really hard to get out of it once you've been doing it for so long. And so a great asset actually to this is having a nursing pillow, like a boppy pillow that goes around you, or the My Breast Friend pillow. I was gifted one at my baby shower, and at first I was like, I'm kind of like a minimalist, so I was like, I'm not even going to use this, but it came in handy in more ways than one. So I would definitely say, if you could put one on your registry, like, I mean, if somebody else gonna get it, like, let somebody get one for you, especially like right after you have your baby. If you happen to have a C-section or anything, I've heard from mamas that I know that have had C-sections that it was incredibly helpful, because, you know, you just gotta have like surgery, and so bending over and doing all that kind of stuff is just like, oh, I gotta hurry up, this thing is dying. Okay, and then the last one, oh my god, I hope this doesn't die on me. And then the last one is patience. Y'all, I talk about patience all the time. You have to be patient. But if you implement these other 5 P's, like, you will get through it. I'm trying to rush through this right now because I don't want this to die. But thank you guys so much for watching. Go to my blog post to see the details, www.issamonologues.com, and I will see you guys in the next one.